So, hold on. Lynette's on the blower.
That's a tease.
Lynette?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So, we were talking about...
Have you sobered up, you lush?
I can't hear you guys too good. I don't know why.
We're talking about because you're drunk.
How dare you?
We're talking about you and Southwest. We were just talking about me and the jump rope competition.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like to talk about myself, but maybe like to recount that a little bit for the listeners.
It was Natalia. She went to jump rope camp, which was 1 hour a day for a couple of weeks with her little best friend. And they did a little, at the end of her camp is over, they do a little jump rope show, and that's what she did. And Daddy was the only daddy there, and he was very happy about that. And they did their little show, and then the lady called, asked if any adults wanted to go up, and Daddy stood right up.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Keeping it real, man.
I was going to say. Listen,
You show them how it's done?
This
51 years young, man.
You got to show it off, man. This is a rare opportunity.
What's your money move?
The money move is...
Have you not seen the hammer?
It hasn't progressed. There's no trick since the hammer. There's got to be a new trick.
Well,
I got to send the video. I'll send it to you.
Triple Dutch.
We'll send the video, yeah. Anyway. So, Lynette, explain the Southwest situation.
All right. Well, I don't know what you already said, but I was kicked off the Southwest Airline last flight coming home last weekend from Vegas after our Mangria event by the pool, which was a success. And I was alone. I was coming home, and it was the last flight at 8:30, and it was delayed, and sat around the airport, and then got up to get on the plane around 9-something, and stood in line in the C, because we're in Southwest, so we were the C, A, B, and C. Of course, I was last in line to get in. And in the line, there was two pretty inebriated dudes behind me that were like, why are you going home? Blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember what they were saying. And then,
but it's the Southwest drunken Vegas flight
Shuttle.
folks.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. And then then the kid in front of me, I say kid, he was probably, 22 or something. Very good-looking kid, model type. He turned around and started joining in on the conversation and said that he was on the wait list to get on. He missed the other flight that he was supposed to be on. Now he's got to go to Burbank, and he was upset that he had to go to the Valley, blah, blah, blah. And I was, I started talking with him, and he was kind of this bubbly kid that was laughing at everything. Yeah, everything came out of his mouth he thought was funny. And I was exhausted. The last thing I wanted to do, I did not want to get on to a flight and sit next to a chatty Cathy.
All right, you'd spend the day by the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Having some Mangria.
We were working, and drinking, of course.
Sure.
But I had time to go back. I went to the room, went back, passed out for half an hour, got up, grabbed my stuff, had my bathing suit still on, and got my stuff, and I was hungover by this point.
All right.
And got to the airport.
What people need to know about Lynette is she has a low threshold for rallying.
Okay.
She once she hits her point, she likes to chillax, and that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
She's had her drinks while the sun was shining, did her work while the sun is shining, is going to pass out on the plane.
Right.
Right.
Now, Lynette, you're traveling alone?
Yes.
There's no one helping you through the airport or propping you up, obviously?
No. I drove out there on Thursday early with the Carolla lackeys, and Adam drove the car home because I was going to just take the 8 o'clock flight out so I could get home and be with the kids and not have to deal with Sunday morning. I didn't need to be there. You guys had everything down. I didn't need to be there at the show on Saturday night. So anyway, I wanted to get home to the kids. And I was, by the way, texting. Last text was to Olga, I'm on the plane now, so I'll be home, God willing, hour and a half, I should be home. Tell the kids I'll see them then. That was my last text. So in line, the guys were, the seat, the airline was full. So I go towards the back of the plane, and there's a couple empty seats. There's one, second to last row on the aisle seat. Sit down in that seat. the kid in front of me, the drunk guys got their seats. I don't know where they went. The kid in front of me wound up behind me because he was a gentleman. I think he let me go on first, whatever. He picked up my suitcase because it kept falling over.
Oh.
Because it's cheap. And he picked it up for me, so he dragged it onto the plane and put it up into the overhead for me, and I said, "Oh, thanks." And then I sat down on the aisle seat, and then there's a seat in the row in front of us to the left had an empty seat in the middle, and an older gentleman who looked like a businessman was on the aisle seat. So the kid got into that middle seat, sat down. I sat in the aisle seat, put my head back, and closed my eyes, and was done. And I was like happy to be on that plane, relaxed, and.
All right, so last flight out of Vegas, Friday night.
Olga knows you're coming home.
You're on the plane.
You're on the plane. Olga's waiting because Olga doesn't want to sleep at the house. And you're going to show up about 9:30 or so and maybe 10 o'clock, see the kids, put them to bed. And long weekend in Vegas with the Mangria and the pool and the whole 9 yards. And now it's time to head home.
Right.
And you're on the plane.
I'm on the plane.
All
and
right.
I hear, my eyes are closed. I hear, "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me." I open my eyes. It's the older gentleman on the aisle sitting next to the kid who sat in the middle seat and said, "Do you want to switch seats?"
Oh.
This guy wants to know you want to switch seats.
Nightmare.
And the kid's leaning forward, all smiling and going, yeah, like switch, he has like a puppy dog, he just wanted to keep talking. And I said, "No, I'm okay. I didn't make eye contact with the kid. I just said, no, I'm okay. Thanks." And I could tell the older gentleman didn't want to move either. Everybody was settled. It was time to go,
Also, it's a 51-minute flight.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain thing where when you're flying back from New York, that's a commitment. But when you're flying under an hour, your ass is in the seat and the seatbelt's on. It's just this kind of like, let's
Doesn't
just get the
matter.
fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
It's over with.
Wheels
right.
up.
Wheels
Right.
up.
So, no thank you. Put my head back, close my eyes. I hear a little, rumblings going on now. I hear a little kerfuffle, and I hear, well, no, she doesn't want to. She said she didn't want to switch seats. Did you want to switch, ma'am? Did you want to switch? I said, no, I'm good. No, and then he says, "I'm an asshole." The older guy says, "I'm an asshole." Now immediately flight attendants are surrounding them. "Is there a problem?" And they both look up at the flight attendant, and they say, "No." Well, the older guy said, this gentleman wanted to switch seats with this woman. She said no, and now he's calling me an asshole. Like what the. And they said, "Well, is there a problem? Is there?" And then they said, "No, we're fine, and like let's go." They wanted to leave. Everything's fine. Flight attendants leave. No more than 20, 30 seconds later, I hear, "This guy's a piece of shit." And he turns around and he says, and he's looking at me like I know the guy.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
What?
my God.
What? I'm a broken record with this. What is that part of humanity? Look, people can go, "Well, the guy had a couple of cocktails." All right, I've had a couple of cocktails. I don't go get our gun and put it in my mouth and blow my head off every time I've had a couple of cocktails. Like, I've had a couple of cocktails. Yeah. I don't walk in the middle of the street. I don't bum rush cops and try to wrestle their guns away. Like, okay, couple of cocktails, fine. Do you have to destroy your life on a couple of cocktails?
Yeah.
Destroy my life.
Well,
What's to be gained?
What I'm just saying is, like, why do you have to get the flight attendant to come back?
You become a Tasmanian devil socially.
Right. Why? It's like you have a 51-minute flight. Just sit there. We're done. Yeah. Let's go home.
Oh, my God. I see this
end of the night, end of the weekend.
And what if something happens and you and this guy are sitting next to each other for the next 45 minutes very uncomfortably?
Right. And I don't want to talk. I'm exhausted. I don't want to talk to this kid. Now this guy looks up and says, this guy is a piece. This guy who looks like a very nice older gentleman, on business or whatever, sports coat on, clearly not drunk or anything like that, and went from, very polite to, "This guy's a piece of shit." I don't know what he said to have him say that. And now it's trouble. Now they said, "Well, we can't take off. What's going on?" And then the guy, the flight attendants leave, I guess, to go talk to the captain. And the guy looks over, the older gentleman looks over at me like, "What gives?" And I said, "I don't know him." I said, I did the crazy, around the, I go, "I think he's a little cuckoo. I said, just like diffuse, like trying to diffuse it, just relax. I said, don't engage. I think he's a little, So be quiet. Let's get out of here." And the next thing you know, the flight attendants come up and go, "You two gentlemen, get your bags and come to the front of the plane." And I go, "Oh, my God, Jesus Christ." And I thought, oh, poor older guy. Should I say something or not? And I just let it play out. I close my eyes. These two get up, and they go to the front of the plane. I don't know what's happening. Close my eyes. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. The security gentleman comes walking up. The security at the airport for the airline comes walking up. My eyes are closed, and I hear, "Excuse me, ma'am, you need to get your stuff, and you need to get off this plane immediately." Immediately. I said, What? And he says, let's go. I said, you got to be kidding me. And at that point, I cannot go, I can't argue. There's no arguing, because then I was like a crazy woman with her bathing suit on and her hair's all, in a ponytail, exhausted. I can't go, I didn't say anything. I don't know this guy. I can't, there's no talking at that point. You just have to get up, and you have to get your bags, and you have to pray at the front of the plane. You can have a little discussion with the captain or the flight attendant and say, "Listen, I don't know this guy," and pray that you're going to get back on the plane.
All right, hold on. Let me go on a diatribe here. This is why we fucked ourselves with our own shitty society and our own fucked up rules, which is, I told Lynette, she's like, I wanted to tell the guy. I said, no, once the switch is flipped,
right.
That's it.
It's over.
Ma'am, and then the next step is not your explanation. The next step is pepper spray and zip ties and you on TMZ.
Right.
That's the next step. There is no 8-second window where you can stop and go, "Listen to me. I don't know who this person is. I'm just in the back of the plane sleeping. Can we please take off?" There is no allowance for human beings having a conversation with other fucking human beings, and not human beings who are at home, but human beings who purchased a ticket on your airline, human beings who fly your airline frequently, human beings who customers. Well, can a customer have 10 seconds carved out to tell their side of the story?
By the way, the customer who is completely quiet with their eyes closed, can that person have a say?
Yes, the middle-aged mom in the back of the plane. Can we just Can we just take off with her sleep?
Her out. Yeah,
that's the weird part. Is Lynette? It sounds like you had no interaction with anybody other than.
But if this kid convinced the businessman that they were tight, then I'm sure he did the same thing with the flight attendant. Like, no, that woman, she's my whatever. I mean, this kid was obviously convinced that there was a connection between you two.
Right. Must have. This kid, who I don't know, had it out for me. I mean,
he forgot to take his Thorazine.
Whatever it is, but I can go on any flight and say, that chick over there told me she had a bomb. And then I can go back to my seat and go to bed, and then I can watch her get escorted off the plane. There's no part where she gets to go check my bag, or I have no idea what you're talking about.
Lynette, if this is a very elaborate way to explain to Adam that you and the kid are moving in together, this is a horrible plan.
I don't think this kid plays for my team, unfortunately. I wanted to fucking strangle this kid at this point. And I go to the front, and the older guy's standing there, and the kid is walking away. He sees me, and he starts walking off. So obviously he got the boot. And I said something like, "I just want you to know, I don't know who that person is. Let's go. That's fine. Get off the plane." No, there was no talking. I said, I just want you to know, I don't know who these people are. Hey, ma'am, please, let's go. We're happy to book you a flight for the first flight out in the morning.
The morning.
Yeah, sleep it off.
By the way, first flight in the morning is not much of a consolation. Right. It's just get up at 5:45.
You're going to kick a woman alone. By the way, this guy is a troublemaker, this kid. We don't know. There's nobody in the airport. Everybody's gone. Fucking place is empty. And now I'm wandering in a circle with this kid that's wandering in a circle too. Now, who knows what could have happened? I mean, they don't know. They don't know I don't know him. And by the way, they didn't know I had a big fat suite waiting for me back at the hotel.
Yeah,
I did.
No, but what they think, you should have checked out of your hotel and had a cab to nowhere.
Exactly.
You should have had nowhere to go. Yeah. In their mind, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
To go find a hotel. Right.
Right.
Well, unless this woman's husband's performing at the Hard Rock and has a suite right now. She's pretty screwed.
Well, I I kind of said, like, listen, my husband's a comedian. He's just did 4 shows at the Hard Rock. I've been working. That's fine. We can book you on a flight. Guy doesn't give a shit. At that point, security, not listening to a word I'm saying. And the kid now is over at the other ticket counter where there's nobody. It's dark. He's standing not at the ticket counter where we walk off and there they are. He's at the one over. I don't know why. He's just standing there, and he's smiling at me.
Oh, my God.
And I look at him, and I said, thanks a lot, you weirdo. Thank you, you weirdo. I said, I'm a mother with 2 kids waiting for me at home. I wanted to say I got a dog that's dying with cancer. And I said, I'm a mother that's got 2 kids now that's waiting for me at home. Thank you, you weirdo. And then the security says, ma'am, lower your voice. Do I have to call do I need to call the airport police? Or whatever the hell he said. I said, go fucking shove it up your ass. And then I walked away.
You lowered your voice, though.
She said it in a hush tone.
Yeah, she under her breath, yeah.
And then the kid ended up, I called Mike August to tell Adam, I'm going back to the hotel, and it's a long story, and I'm sleeping there, and
I didn't get that story.
Yeah.
You got about 4 mini stories that didn't sound at all like that one.
That's the part of life I'm most enamored with. Lynette missed her flight. No, the flight's delayed. She's on the flight. Good.
No, Olga knows she's coming home.
Lynette decided to leave the plane.
Yep.
She's coming back. None of which, the first one made sense. Lynette missed her flight. The second one was flight's delayed. Okay, good. She made her flight. Third one was she's on her flight. Okay, good. Fourth one was she's tired. She's coming home.
No.
That's not like sense. I mean, one of my skills, I'm texting with Michael. I'm not going to explain the whole thing.
Evidently.
I was so upset and shaking, I didn't know what to do. I was walking in a circle, but then I got on the escalator. I said, well, the only thing I can do now is go back to the hotel. And I saw that fucking kid standing by the escalator, smiling at me again. And I said, at least I got a fat-ass suite I can go back to. Have fun, you fucking weirdo. And I left. And that was it.
But hold on. It's not... The thing is, it's not his fault. He's a fucked up kid.
Right.
It's the airline's fault. It's the airport's fault. It's society's fault. It's our government's fault. Like, we have decided that law-abiding, tax-paying citizens are fucking enemy number one. And I don't know why. It's driving me nuts. I've been screaming. Lynette, how often do I scream about this?
All the time.
At the moment, literally
Lynette,
right now.
It's happening right now.
When we're leaving the ArcLight Theater and the cunt who's valeting is yelling at every single person saying, you're supposed to get this thing validated. And everyone's going, sorry. Who's the one who yells at her and tells her to get her shit together?
Adam, wait, can I mention...
Lynette,
okay.
yes. Who tells her? Who confronts her? Who says, shut up?
You, of course.
Get your fucking shit together, bitch.
You have a chapter in your first book about this.
Yes. We're fucking paying people $9 an hour to fuck with our lives.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone's signed off on it. And by the way, they're heroes? Right. You're fucking nuts. You have a fucking $10 windbreaker, you retards.
I agree.
Jack fucking shit. You're the dumbest people we went to high school with.
Yep.
We have to fucking listen to you now.
Right.
That's where we're at. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead,
I'm
Gina.
sorry. I did think your question was rhetorical, which is why I jumped in.
Oh, sorry.
But when I was going back, when I was at McCarran flying home, every single person in line was so defeated because the overweight, middle-aged guy in his little outfit was going, it's been 10 years, over and over again. It's been 10 years, people. How many times do we have to tell you? Take your liquid out of your bag. It's been 10 years.
God.
It was like ear bleeding first thing in the morning.
I know.
Oh, my God.
I hate
It
everybody.
was so insulting.
I know.
Right.
Yes.
And we just talked to your friend Jody, who spent a month in Europe, and she was like, oh, it's so great. They treat you like an adult over there.
Yeah.
They treat you like an adult, like a person who
Civilized.
pays
It's civilized.
taxes, who by the way, pays them.
Can be trusted.
Yes.
Oh.
Fuck Southwest.
Fuck Southwest.
I'm dying to know what the kid said that implicated you as someone that had to be taken off the plane.
Something insane.
Okay, so this is so I love all our listeners. They're the best. We have the best fans because they all started tweeting Southwest. I'm not flying Southwest. I can't believe what they did. Southwest. So they got a ton of tweets because I talked about it on my podcast, for crying out loud, twice a week here on Carolla Digital. And so Southwest sends me a direct message on Twitter that says, what does it say? We're following up on everything, Lynette. I assure we'll be taking a deeper look into your experience. Please allow me some time to gather more information. I will follow up with you tomorrow. Thanks, Daniel. So then I get an email from Southwest. Now my blood boils because the email says, I'll read you the highlight.
Hold on. Gather yourself for 1 second. Can I say this? As long as we have constructed a society where survivors of abuse and just flat-out pussies are allowed to say, I felt threatened, then we're fucked. Because, look, you can walk outside, a wind can blow, and you can feel threatened if you're fucked up, if you're a shell of a person, if you're a piece of shit. I mean, if you're psychologically a mess, if your stepdad had at you with a fucking candlestick for 8 years. Yes,
that is pretty traumatic.
You can feel threatened. Yeah, fine.
Every time you go into Yankee Candle.
Now you're 41 years old and you're working on Southwest. You can feel threatened over anything at any time. This fucking bullshit where they're like, I felt threatened, I felt uncomfortable. Fuck you, pussy. Yeah. We need a standard for threatened and uncomfortable, not you, broken individual with crushed psyche, decided to feel insecure or threatened over middle-aged mama sleeping in the back of the plane.
Well, what about me now? I'm feeling threatened.
Well, now you have a reason to feel threatened.
Some fucking weirdo.
That's an actual threatening situation.
All right, you can read the letter they sent you.
All right, so basically the highlight is records indicate that you were removed when our flight attendants witnessed your involvement in an altercation on board the aircraft before departure. Right. Additionally, the behavior displayed also reflected signs of intoxication. Per FAA regulations, in the best interest of comfort, safety, our customers and crew, Southwest will remove a person's conduct and appears to have been disorderly, abusive, uncooperative, offensive, threatening, intoxicated,
or sleeping,
intimidating, or violent.
I like to put violent at the end.
Yeah.
Which one of those things were you when you were reading the back of your eyelids?
Right. Thank you. So while our captain in command had no direct contact with you the involved customer, information he received about your perceived involvement behavior was integral to his decision to have you removed from the flight. To that end, we know that each involved party may hold a unique perspective toward the series of events that resulted in your being...
That's so patronizing.
Being denied boarding, and I regret if your viewpoint doesn't align with our assessment or the circumstances. In light of your request, basically, they're refunding my ticket. That's all they're giving me.
Here's the other part, too. We have so many fucking damaged pieces of shit walking around on this planet that when they go up and report to the pilot and say, I felt threatened, we got a situation, it's a code 5, people are out of control back there. There's something that's going on, Lynette. I don't know if you feel it, but I think you understand, you live with someone who tries to play it down and diffuse it all the time.
Yes.
This thing of heightening everything all the time. Oh, we got a situation going on the back of the plane. No, you don't.
Right.
You have one drunken, stupid kid, and then you have a middle-aged dude in khakis, and you have a middle-aged mom who's trying to sleep. You don't have a situation. Yeah. We can just take the fuck off, give the guy Pepsi free, we're going to land in 51 minutes. We don't have a situation. Why does everyone need to put 3 zeros behind everything in their life? Like, OMG, exclamation point, exclamation point,
all caps.
Oh my God. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, you hear that message, like, oh my God, we need to talk. A situation is wrong. And then you talk to the person, like, they shipped too many t-shirts out to the event. It's like, what? Why did that necessitate this?
Dial in an appropriate
What's with all the craze? Is it all the fucking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I mean, what is going on with the crazy, when nothing is really going on?
I think I have a possible theory.
Yes.
This is a very, very litigious country. If they were already reported that there was a quote-unquote situation and then 30,000 feet in the air, the guy punches the other guy, well, you already saw them fighting, you should have kicked them off, and somebody sues and Southwest goes out of business. That's all they care about.
That's true.
But why do I gotta get dragged into their dumb
because your name got brought up.
Exactly.
You know what? The
Anyone
key...
that even remotely had anything to do with this psychopath has to be removed, so they don't get their whole company taken down, which would not happen.
The older guy got back on the plane. They let him back on.
That's crazy.
Ooh, that's the crazy. And it was just me and the fucking nut job.
Oh my God,
off.
Lynette, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the fucked up part. Throw the chick off the plane.
Right. And by the way, I wasn't talking at all. These two were going, this guy's a piece of shit out loud. We're in front of kids. Says it out loud. It wasn't that loud, but those two were arguing. I was not involved in the argument. I got asked if I wanted to switch seats. I said no. And then I told the guy, diffuse, be quiet. Don't engage.
That's
all
horrible.
Right. Fuck Southwest. And let me say this. We have removed the ability from human beings to be human beings. So what a robot does is a robot says, when you roll through a four-way stop sign without coming to a complete 100% stop, you get a ticket for $241. That's what a robot says. But what a human being says is on a Sunday at 7:30 in the evening when there's nobody else around and you don't come to a full and complete stop, but you're going 2 miles an hour, a human being says, no ticket for you. I'm a human being, that you pose no threat here. We're now removing, and this is what lawyers do, and this is what government does, we remove the human being part from being human beings.
Yes.
So now you just have these fucking robots come on the plane in windbreakers. Ma'am, I need you to ma'am, I need you right now for me. Go ahead, get your bag, step off the plane right now, okay, right now. That's what we've done. Yeah. We've created a fucking society. We've created it, where as adults, we can't walk around and essentially live the life we want to lead because we've paid people $11 an hour to fuck with us.
Human beings aren't being human.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, they're flowchart people. They're if this, then this.
All right, Lynette. Sorry, baby.
So, are we taking Southwest to the Bahamas, that trip you won? Everybody, if you're in San Diego area, go to the mangriabarcall.com.
Drive there, though.
Yeah,
take
drive
there.
Yeah, we can drive there, exactly.
And
hashtag fuck Southwest.
All right. Thanks, baby girl.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Wow.